We have the REAP program, REAP program, a community-based model for concussion management. Our speaker today is Scott Collins. He is the CBIS branch manager, Brain Injury Services-TBI Trust. Scott serves as the Brain Injury Services Manager for the Department of Aging and Independent Living in Frankfort, Kentucky. So with that, I'll turn it over to Scott, and we'll start with the presentation.
Our biggest thing is to provide services for folks that have brain injuries. But also part of what we're tasked with is some education and trying to prevent brain injury, and that's where REAP comes in. If you weren't here the last time I spoke, REAP is an acronym for Remove, Reduce, Educate, Acclimate, Adjust, Pace. And it's all about students all the way from kindergarten through seniors in high school, and if they have concussions, what needs to happen, not just to get them back on the playing field, which we hear about so much, return to play, but more on return to learn. So it's about what steps need to be taken to make sure that they're not going to further injure their brain because of the concussion they suffer, whether it was on a playing field or whether it was in their front yard and their brother hit them with a golf club. So this program is all about, and when I came in November, we were still working on our manual, we were still working on all our quotes that we were gathering from different individuals in the state, and I will say happily that our manual is done now. I left quite a few out on the front desk if you want to take one with you. And so when I was here last time, I kind of went through the manual and what it does, but it works off of a team approach. There's 4 teams. There's a family team, there's a school team academic, there's a school team physical, and then there's a medical team. So those folks work together to make sure that they're watching the student and looking for anything that might be a symptom of they're not back up to par. Usually, concussions take 70% of concussions usually take care of themselves in about 4 weeks, and that's what this program is based around. So it has symptoms to watch for the family, it has symptoms to watch for the teacher, it has symptoms to watch for their coaches, their athletic trainers. And a big thing that we like about this is anyone can follow. There's in the booklet, there's some different things to look at. There's a teacher feedback form that they can fill out. And there's also the symptom checklist, which lasts for 4 weeks. So every day you ask your student, how do you feel about this? Or you just observe what they're doing to make sure that, like I said, that concussion doesn't turn into something worse. This program was started by a group in Colorado who had a football player, he got a concussion in the game on a Friday, didn't realize it wasn't treated. The next Friday, he got another concussion, suffered second impact syndrome, and he died. So that school, because of that, developed this resource. And that's what it is a resource. I've talked to some teachers already about it, and I just try to tell them, look, how often are you really going to have a kid in your class with concussion? 1 time, 2 times a year, maybe? It's just another tool in your tool belt to use in case something happens. So the way that we're rolling this out is we're going all over the state. Now, we would love to go before the Department of Education and they say, yes, it's great, we'll send it to all of our schools. We're still working on that. So we've been working with the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky, and I don't see this probably here, but we ordered 3,000 helmets, bicycle helmets. So we're going to different things, and we're giving those bicycle helmets out to kids, and then we're also talking to their parents about REAP. We're getting stickers that go on their helmets, and some other fun stuff so that they can take it home with us. Magnets that families can put it on their refrigerators. So it goes on your fridge. Your kid gets a concussion, you see it. It has a QR code on it. This poster has a QR code on it as well. These are 2 more of our posters that we developed. We're also already working with this department. We're going to be giving these. These are going to go in all the trauma centers.
No. I'm the state trauma coordinator and work with Dr. Scott. my plan is for him to come and produce the trauma symposium. We're going to try to get this out. The trauma symposium is a big crowd. We have a lot of hospital ED doctors as well as the trauma staff that come. Try to get it into the hands of the injury prevention people out there. And I may even get him to do, we have what we call a town hall. And I may even try to get him on a town hall, gets it into a bigger audience. But, you know, one of the things that I pointed out, and I haven't mentioned this to you, but we talked earlier about the bank shooting. The young man who was involved in the bank shooting in Louisville is a TBI. This kid, if you go back and you read about him, had been hit multiple times on the athletic field, and there were actually pictures of him published in the paper where he was wearing a helmet to protect his brain while he was playing basketball. And he developed a syndrome which led to the depression and the anxiety, which I think probably is what stimulated him. So this has got real benefits for us. And the reason I'm pushing this to my trauma centers and my hospital EVs is that I want this to be in the hands of the discharge planners and the social workers and whatnot that are at the hospitals, so that as they're working with the parent to send this kid home or to send him into rehab or whatever, they've got some additional tools at their disposal to help reinforce exactly what he's talking about. That's my game plan down the road.
And it is, it's a tool. It's a tool for not only teachers, not only athletic trainers, but for families as well. Also with our resource, we have 4 training videos. Those training videos, one is an overview of what it is, one is for a school team academic, school team physical, and one's for families. We didn't do one for doctors because we know that doctors don't need to be trained on what. So all those things, well, the manual, if you click the QR code, it takes you straight to our CHFS website, which takes you straight to the manual that's online at CHFS. We wanted the training videos to be on there as well. For some reason, state government goes with it. So we're gonna make a YouTube page. I'm gonna put them on the YouTube page, and then that site will live on the our web page within CHFS. If they let me do that. If you want a training video, just tell me and I'll send it to you. So that's really where we are. We're starting to roll out. I've already talked to some schools. We've done 3 helmet giveaways where we've given away already almost 700 helmets. And like I said, I think the thing that I love about this program is it can be done at home by your families, by the children's families. And also, how many rural areas don't have an athletic trainer on staff? Maybe somebody's volunteered to do that. I'm from Hazard, as you can't hear. Our athletic trainer when I was growing up was a chiropractor. So, and that's who volunteered his time. So we just want to make sure, I mean, concussion is a big thing in the sports world. It has been for a while now. But what about concussions that are suffered on your bicycle? Or, like I said, playing, I hit my brother in the head with a golf club when he was little. So, you know, and we don't want it to result in something that happened in Colorado or someone who maybe has had several concussions. And we actually have 2 stories of athletes from Kentucky who suffered concussions, and their stories are in here and what they've went through. We had one young lady from Woodford County, suffered 26 concussions playing soccer from middle school to high school. And she had symptoms. She talks in her story, she had slowed down, her mental capacity had slowed down. She was tired all the time. Well, but she loved soccer. She didn't tell people, or they pushed her back. So she gets a scholarship to Western. She walks on campus at Western, she gets a physical, and they say, you can't play sports anymore because of this, which, you know, and she still says she sees a neurologist every year. She can't do a desk job. She works for her dad's construction company now because she can't focus long enough to do something at a computer screen. And then another individual is kind of what he went through and where he's at now. It's more of a feel-good story about what he went through, but it's still, he suffered all these concussions that made him take longer to get where he wanted to be in life. There's quotes from physical therapists, doctors, neuropsychologists, teachers from all over our state that are in the book. So there's all kinds of resources. It's based on a color code. Each team has a color code, and you see at the top of the pages, it'll have different colors for kind of what the team is you're looking for on those teams. It's something we're really proud of. This took 2 years to get done. So like I said, I won't talk that long because I actually am meeting with Scott County Schools today to try to get this in their schools. And that's our plan we've set up. We're going to go we're going to go to some of the open houses across the state. When the kids are coming back, have a table just to give stuff to parents. I'd love to speak before the School Nurses Association. I've had a hard time getting before them as well, but we'll get there. But it's something, like I said, we're really proud of. We think it's going to make a difference for some kids. And you know, I think my plea to teachers is, it's not more work for you. How often is it really going to happen? So if you have any questions, I don't have a card. You can contact me, email me. My information is in the booklet. My email address is actually donald.collins@ky.gov. Forgot my email address. But I'd be happy to come talk to any groups that you want me to come talk to. Our case managers throughout the state, we're training them up so that they can do some stuff. We're looking at some festivals to go to and have tables at this summer. So we're trying our best to get it in front of everyone that we can get it in front of. And like I said, hopefully those training videos will be soon on our webpage in some capacity. Does anybody have any questions? Well, I did a good job.